Hello my crafty peeps, it's Cheyenne from ecdesignstudio.com. Right, this is another in my Halloween One Sheet Wonder card series. So we're going to be making this card here. Oh, I think it's cute. Alright, so here's the stamps that we're going to use. It's from the Sweet Home set, which is in the holiday catalog. We're going to be using like these little 3 lines. These are going to make the wood grain, the wood panels, the siding, if you will, on the house. We're going to need the house, the roof, the banner, the trick-or-treat, and the door. Oh, and the spider web, too. So we're going to need those from this set. I used the Elegant Dots embossing folder on the background. I need some clear embossing powder because we're stamping on a little piece of acetate, and I don't have stays on. So if you have stays on, black stays on, just use that. I don't, so I'm going to have to use the basic black archival and then hurry up and sprinkle the clear embossing powder and heat set it so that that gets all set up there. Going to need, let me see, let me pull out my ruler. So this is maybe the 2 3/4, possibly, scallop circle from the Layering Circles framelit set. Also going to need crumb cake and Sahara sand ink pads to stamp our house. I do not have the Elegant Eggplant stamp pad, so I'm using my Stampin' Right marker to stamp in that color. Also going to need our basic black Stampin' Right marker to do some detail work, the So Saffron to color in the window glow, and pumpkin pie to do that little, color the little door framing strip there. Alright, dimensions, we have a standard A2 card. This one I cut at 5.5 and I scored at 4 1/4. Standard everyday set. It's not my top fold card this time. Alright, this is one of the 3x3 squares from our One Sheet Wonder DSP, and I just cut it diagonal to diagonal to make 2 triangles. Gonna need some scrap Whisper White cardstock to do your stamping. Alright, this is pumpkin pie. It's cut from one of the 12x12 sheets that you can get in the pack with the basic gray. So you get basic gray and pumpkin pie, 12x12 cardstock sheets. Limited time, get it now from your holiday catalog. Alright, so this piece measures 4 by 5 1/4. And then a scrap piece of the basic gray cardstock. It just has to be big enough to fit your circle, your scallop circle. You're going to need a couple scraps of basic black cardstock, a little piece of acetate sheet or window sheet, and alright, that's it for the supplies. You know, your adhesive, your dimensionals, and snail adhesive. I also used mini glue dots on this one too, so have those standing by. I also forgot to mention you're going to need some of the dies from the Sweet Home, Sweet Home, I think it's the Home Sweet Home framelit set. So we're going to use the door jam part. I'm going to show you the actual door panel. This is kind of cool. It only cuts out 3 sides and keeps, you know, the other one attached, so you can actually have a hinge action going. We're going to end up cutting it all out on this project, but I just wanted you to see how that works. Going to need the window, the little bat, there he is, little bat, and the banner. Oh, alright, let's get started. Put that aside. Alright, what to do first? Let's get some stamping out of the way. Alright, so we have our scrap sheet. Start out doing the background, and we're going to stamp that in Sahara sand. And you can stamp this in whatever color you wanted. this is just the one I chose, you know. Go purple, orange, whatever. Alright. Getting on there. Just go ahead now. My stamp pad's going to need a little bit of work. I need to move the ink about on it a little bit because it's really juicy, and you can kind of tell it's not completely even, so I just need to take a bone folder or a plastic spoon and just like put some pressure and move the ink around so it's more evenly dispersed through there. Just have to remember to do that before I actually, you know, ink up a stamp and stamp with it. They're one of those things that you never think of until you're actually doing it. Alright, now we're going to take some Post-its. Post-its are wonderful for masking. And that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to take them around the edge because the siding stamp, it goes over the edge of this particular one. If you're, you know, putting the house together, then it's, you know, it makes a little bit more sense. But for our purposes right now, I'm just going to do this. You could also use masking tape if you prefer that, you know, whatever. Go crazy. Do what works for you. You do you. Alright, now you can kind of see how they're not quite evenly spaced. I think that's a brilliant idea, you know, so you don't have to be too exact and precise and like start doing like measurements and stuff with it. Now we're just going to stamp up the house. No rhyme or reason. Just getting it on there. Alright, that's good. Oh, now our house is on there. Put this ink pad away. Pop off our masking. Great thing about these, you can use them again and again. They can become your scrap paper if you need to doodle some stuff or test stamp. Alright, now we've got the roof piece. And like I said, I don't have the Elegant Eggplant stamp pad yet. Just take the brush tip and you're going to color down it. Whenever I'm working with these Stampin' Right markers, I like to kind of breathe on it. So like give it a little huff like you're fogging up a window. And we're just going to stamp that down. Pull up. And there's our house. At least the beginnings of it. Alright. I'm going to cut this out real quick. I will probably speed this whole process up, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so that's our house all cut out. You know, I'm happy with like the little distressed bits around it. I mean, it's supposed to be a haunted house. You know, it can't be too nice and neat. Got to have a little bit of spookiness going on. Alright, so right now we're done with this piece. We're going to set it aside. Set aside those two. Let's stamp our door. Alright, again, you know, getting my Elegant Eggplant Stampin' Right marker. If you have the Elegant Eggplant ink pad, then by all means use that. Alright, so I got that on. Give it a huff. And let's go ahead and put it up over here. Alright, that's that. Stamping done. Let's do our banner. We're going to do our banner in the basic black. Alright, that turned out pretty gosh darn good. Alright, we'll set that aside. And the trick or treat I actually did in the Elegant Eggplant again. So we're just going to color it right across the words. For these little delicate words, I almost prefer using the markers, so you can like just make sure you're getting it on the words and not like on the rest of the stamp. Now, alright, let me line this up. My head may get in the way. Alright, and that is that. Alright, now you can kind of see in this sample, I didn't stamp the banner stamp on. I just kind of used my artisticness and kind of did it myself. You could do that, or you can do this, and it's easy. While we've got this one, let's color it in with our pumpkin pie. You could also just use the pumpkin pie cardstock, but I wanted to use the elegant eggplant to stamp the sentiments, so that makes it a little difficult if you're trying to stamp it over orange. Doesn't quite show up as well. And then I'm going to choose to trace over the Trick or Treat a little bit with the elegant eggplant marker, or Stampin' Right. Just kind of to intensify it, you know. Luckily, this is a really easy font to go over. Lots of simple lines. It's Halloween again. You know, if there's any time that it's okay for things to be distressed, it's with your Halloween crafting. Alright, so that's that. We can put aside those now. Alright, let's pull out our basic black again and our piece of window sheet. Use the embossing buddy over the top. These things can be a whole lot of staticky clingy. Get my clear embossing powder ready, and I'm just going to use one of the Post-it notes to collect the powder. Got our spider web, walking through the spider webs. Alright, there's the piece of acetate. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but stamp it on there, and be very careful because it is, you know, kind of slippery. Oh, I don't like that. Good news, we can take the baby wipe, wipe it off, and re-stamp it. Alright, there we go. That's good. Quick, quick, quick as you can. Get your clear embossing powder. This is just going to set the ink on so it's not going to smear. That would be kind of tragic, because then you're going to have basic black ink everywhere. That's not going to be cute. And then you give it to someone, this card to someone, and they end up with black ink everywhere. It's just not a good thing. You will not be thanked for that. Alright, now we've got our heat tool and our tweezers. Get your heat tool started first before you do this. Very important, because the acetate can melt. So make sure your heat tool is nice and hot before you bring it to heat your spider web, or you could melt the acetate window sheet. And there we go. Let's put away our basic black ink pad before I inadvertently get it everywhere. And we are going to cut out this spider web real quick. You know, the good thing about heat embossing it is there is kind of a raised edge. It's also on window sheets, so if you don't hit everything, it's okay. Nobody's gonna see the boo-boos because it's on a clear sheet. Alright, and that's that piece. Alright, let's get some of this stuff out of the way. Nope, nope, we can't throw away our bat. We're gonna need him. Alright, now it is safe to do our big shotting around. So first step, I'm gonna go ahead and emboss the piece of pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie. That sounds good. Anyone else like pumpkin pie? I do. pumpkin bread, pumpkin everything. Alright, so I'm not going to be, oh, I know why. Magnetic base. It's a little bit thicker than your regular platform, so let's get the standard Big Shot platform with our 2 cutting pads and our embossing folder. There we go. This will probably work out a lot better. Oh yeah, yeah, this is going through. Smooth like butter. Okay. So, now we've got that. Look at that. That is just gorgeous. We're not done with this piece, but put it aside. Because we've got other Big Shot stuff to do. You can put aside your other platform too and bring your magnetic platform back. Got your cutting sheet. Alright, let's get this in here. Our little scallop circle. Actually, it's quite big for a scallop circle. Alright. Let's get that piece in. Alright. Here's our little door. I cannot, speak enough about, having the magnetic base, magnetic platform if you're using a lot of framelits. I mean, how easy was that? They just pop right on. You don't have to worry about putting washi tape or worry about them like moving and scooching around. Alright. We've got our scallop circle. We're not done with that yet either. We have to get a little distressing going on. Okay. So here we go. Let me show you the door piece. So it cut out 3 sides, but it left that one. Yeah, that's going to come in handy when you're doing some 3D projects. But we're not doing that now. So there we go. Little door. Now we need our pieces of basic black. There they are. They were hiding. I don't know how many of these I'm going to need, but I thought, more the better. Oh, wait. Need another piece of this, too. Because we need to cut our window, or our door frame. So that'll be our door frame. Then we need our window panel. We need our bat. Where'd the bat go? These things, Ah, there it is. Mr. Batty's trying to fly away. There we go. Don't think we're going to need that piece. Get our bat on there. Second cutting platform. Plate. Ooh. Again, don't be alarmed if your Big Shot starts making like noises, sounding like it's about to fall apart. It's not. They're natural. I'm not entirely sure what the exact cause of all those noises is, but it's okay. Alright, so we've got all of our pieces, and let's get this out of the way. Alright. Got our bat, our window, our door frame. And notice, these are intricate cuts. Ooh, that one was so intricate it didn't actually come out. Oh, this one didn't go through. Alright, pop that one aside. Take 2. It's strange, I've never had that happen. Okay, Mr. Window, we really need you to show up today. Let's try this again. Piece of cardstock. Wait, is this the one that I used? Maybe that's not the die that I used. Let's see. No, that's why. That just cuts. Oh! That's pretty awesome. That one just cuts out your little window panels. So that's good to know too. Woohoo! See? You'll learn something. So this is the one that's actually going to cut out the frame. Yeah, now Now we're cooking with fire. There we go. Alrighty, that's more like it. Hey, and that one just popped out. Well, that makes life easy. This side. So there we go. See, now we have the window frame. Alright, now you'll notice on the bat and the door frame, they're kind of tiny cuts. So they're getting caught in there. But that is what these little holes in the die are for. You can just kind of pop something pointy through, and then they pop right out without any issues, as long as you actually hang on to the die. There we go. Look, that bat really wanted to fly. It just like hopped right on out of there. Okay, while we have the door frame, let's go ahead and use our pumpkin pie. Color it in, and you could cut it out of, you know, pumpkin pie cardstock, but you know, this is easy for me too. I tend to have a lot more scrap Whisper White cardstock than I do the pumpkin pie, since I, you know, tend to use it all and not have scraps. Alright, so that's that. Wipe off the extra ink. Alright, last little steps. We've got our basic gray circle, and we're going to take our basic black ink pad. What you're going to do is you're going to hold this, and then you're going to hold your stamp pad at like a 45-degree angle, and you're just going to kind of run it along the edges lightly. You don't want to, you want your paper to be a little bit flexible, so hold it kind of further back so it can kind of have that bend to it. And this is something that you're going to have to kind of practice. Get your technique just right. I'm going to distress it up just a little bit more. You know, and a lot of this is the pressure too. Like I'm not really pushing down, I'm just lightly running it over. You can see that just colored the scalloped portion of it. So it's a nice little effect. And now I'm going to, this is a Whisper White Stampin' Dot that I got in one of my paper pumpkin kits. You can use the full ink pad too. I just think for these techniques, like, this works a lot nicer for me. So I'm just going to kind of lightly rub it over the top of our pumpkin pie embossed piece. You know, you start rubbing this too hard, you're going to start doing damage to the foam piece. Like it's only lightly glued in there, and it's only a piece of foam, so you don't want to like start moving that whole piece around. Just be gentle. You know, I'm okay with having some of it go onto the background too. Like I kind of want that, you know, cloudy type effect going on, but depending on how much pressure you put on, it's how much you're going to get that transfer all the way down there. If you do it really light, it'll just kind of go over the top of your dry embossed image. Okay, I think we are now at the point, oh, no, one last step. I also inked the edges of the pumpkin pie piece with black. So since I don't want this one to come in, I'm holding it more at a 90-degree angle as I'm going down. I just want that little edge to be going. So there you go, just inked up like the very, very edges really. Alright, now we can assemble the card. Alright, so we've got our Whisper White A2 card. We've got our snail adhesive. going to turn it around to the right side. Now this has a dry embossed image on it, so you really want to make sure you're going to get all the sides, because there's not as much surface area for the glue to adhere to now that, you know, part of it's like raised up. So, alright, we're going to pop that over. You know what, I'm noticing a little bit of transfer of that white. Oh yeah, it's not fully dry yet. With your like pigment type ink pads, I believe it's a pigment ink pad. Yes, it's a pigment ink. So pigment inks take a little bit more time to dry, so I'm just going to use my heat tool to quick dry it. Alright, here's hoping that's good enough. You know what? There was one more step that I have to do, and that's to take another scrap piece of Whisper White, and we've got to cut out the background that we're going to do So Saffron. So let me pull out the So Saffron, color a little bit on there. Get my Tombow. If you've got the fine tip glue, then I mean this is a good thing to use that on. I have not purchased one yet, but it is on my things to buy list. Now we're just gonna pop that over, and then we're going to cut it out. Anyone else think Full House? You know, Dave Coulier's, you know, Cut It Out. Yeah. Anyone else watch Fuller House? The redo? That was interesting. Not quite sure how I felt about all that, but kinda cool. What did you Full House diehards think of that? Alright. I've got that. Next step. Oh! Also forgot to ink the edges with the basic black of the DSP. Just ink the edges of everything. Just go crazy. Here we go. Alright. Think that's it. Think that's everything that we were supposed to ink up and such. Alright, now we're going to put our snail adhesive on these bits. Going to put one in each little corner. Going to offset it a little bit so you can see some of the pumpkin pie around the edges. And because we're also going over an embossed piece, like you want to be fairly generous with your adhesive on this, because again, you know, there's less surface area that it's actually adhering to because of the raised and lowered surfaces of that. Okay, and going to adhere on our scallop circle too. Gonna pop that just right in the middle. Actually, we're gonna no, kind of centered. Now let's put our house together. Got a house. Find my tweezers. Got a lot going on around here. Gotta find everything. Oh say, can you see? Well, let's glue on the door. Let's glue in. Right. All right. There is a door knob on this door, so you know, make sure it's positioned in the way that you would want a door to open, if that's the sort of detail that's going to start driving you crazy. Eyes are the window to the soul. I thought about doing a little silhouette behind the mirror, you know, like a person or a scary ghoul, but I'm like, you know what? I gotta call enough's enough. Alright, one of the last little steps I did was I took the Stampin' Up marker and I used the fine line, and I just added in like these little like squiggle lines. So to do these, you just want to lightly touch it, and you almost want to like have a tremor going on in your hands. So, you know, just, you know, a little bit. You don't want to, if it skips, it's alright. You kind of want that feeling. You're trying to mimic a little bit of like weathered wood grain going. It's nothing, you know, perfect. It's very hard to kind of mess this style up because you're just, there's no rhyme or reason to it. Just wherever you want to kind of give a little bit more interest, you know, just keep the eye kind of going around it. Work in, you know, odd numbers, alternate things so it's not too much the same. I'm going to do that with our roof awning bit. I'm sure there's a technical term, and I'm sure my boyfriend knows because he installs roofs and siding. He owns his own business. Alright, I'm also going to, kind of felt like the pumpkin pie door jamb was kind of getting lost. So I kind of drew around the outside of it. If it wasn't such a fine piece, I probably would have inked it. And yeah, let's go ahead and get some distressing going on it too. Why not? We're on a roll. Alright. So that's all there is to that. And this is something, like, you could skip that step if you wanted to. It's just, yeah, something that I wanted to do. Alright. Actually, we're going to need that again. Next step, we're going to take our spider web and a glue dot. I like glue dots when doing the acetate windows like this. It holds it, but you can't see it as well because the glue dots tend to be, you know, kind of clear too. So I'm just gonna pop it over the door jamb like so. So, and you can, you know, there's a little bit of squiggle to it, kind of like that. Now we're gonna take some dimensionals and pop them on. I'm just going to use 3. And we're going to pop our house on. There we go. We've got our trick or treat banner. Yeah, with this, I cut one of the dimensionals in half, or you can also take the opportunity to use some of the border bits to your dimensional sheet and just like cut that to cut smaller pieces. Pop that in the center, and then I want this to kind of hover over the peak of the house. Oh, there we go. Last but not least, we cannot forget our bat. I'm going to use the liquid glue to adhere this on because I'm putting it on an embossed piece, so just want to make sure it's going to be nice and adhered. We're just going to have that kind of flying off into the moonlight. And there you have it. There is our Haunted House Halloween card. Oh, here's the original. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please remember to like and subscribe. Alright, happy creating and crafting. Bye!